Okay, let me think. I had something in mind when I came out here for the vlog. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, here's one thing. So I've been trying to come up with a little skit to do about post-apocalyptic blah blah blah. I got a friend of mine, I have a rain suit, and a friend of mine who has an old gas mask I can borrow. I don't think it's functional, but it still looks like a gas mask I was going to borrow. It's going to be like this post-apocalyptic looking around for crap kind of skit that I was going to do. But there's one problem. I can't find anywhere near my house or work where you can't hear cars going by pretty much 24/7. I mean, even up here, I can hear the cars. Westheimer's right over here. Even the side street's real busy because it cuts between Westheimer and the toll road over here, and the other toll road's right over across the corner. I mean, I'm surrounded by big roads. There's nowhere around here to film. Gone to my friends' houses. You can hear traffic noise. All I got to do is stop doing anything else, and there's a traffic noise in the background. My house is shot, of course, because I'm 50 yards from. Excuse me. My house is shot because I'm not even 50 yards from Westheimer. Even in George Bush Park, if you start walking around out in George Bush Park, you start hearing the animals and blah blah blah, you know, the wind rustling through the leaves and all this kind of crap, and then you hear traffic, and it's like, oh yeah, traffic. When I was out at Texas Renaissance Festival, even out there, you still hear traffic, and if the fair is going on, of course you hear the fair. But you have to get away from the fair to get away from the traffic noise, because that road during the fair season, during when fairs going on, it has traffic noise. It's proliferate. One of these days, something's gonna have to break, because we've only had this for the last 110 years or so, traffic noise. What do we have before that? The noise pollution is just ridiculous, and it's all to do with vehicles. I mean, even if you get far enough out in the boonies that you're away from cars and major roads, you still have airplanes going overhead. I remember watching an old bloopers. I remember watching bloopers from an old Western. And the guys are sitting on their horse, and they're trying to talk to each other, and all of a sudden you hear some yang, yang, yang in the background. It's like there's an airplane. And you hear one of the people from the crew say, you know, they're not supposed to be flying out here. And it's like, well, there they are, you know, and what are you going to do? Turn them into the FAA? But, yeah, so even when they're trying to film out in California, it's still, you have to find a place where there aren't airplanes flying around. So to try and do a post-apocalyptic little skit, I'd almost have to completely redo the audio and rig up a sound booth for myself in my house. I'm reading online how to do that so that I could do the lines and stuff inside the house, and try to dub over the audio in some cases when the noise of the surrounding area is just too much to have the scene make any sense. Because, you know, post-apocalyptic, you're not going to have cars driving everywhere unless they're driving themselves for some reason. So, I don't know, that's one thing that's annoyed me this past week, is trying to come up with solutions for that on a zero budget. So today, I'm sitting there on the computer at work, and I'm pounding away on it, and this memory pops back into my head from a long time ago when I was a kid. I had a Commodore 64, and I remember having to come up with things to do on the computer. There was no internet. There weren't really even that many games that I had. You had to buy them all. Not having any money after buying the computer. And I had to come up with things to do on the computer. Because if you just sat down and turned the computer on, there wasn't anything there beeping at you like there is today, begging you to do something. You had to do it yourself, and you had a blinking cursor. And a list was about the only thing you had going for you. So I learned how to program out of Sure Portable. And the funny thing is, I get on computers nowadays, and the last thing I want to do is anything on the computer that requires effort. It's gotten to the point now where pretty much everything's done for you on the computer, and pads and all the other devices. And the object of the game is to sell you products or to separate you from your money now, rather than to enlighten you or to help you find a better way of getting something done or being more productive. So the whole focus of the whole landscape of computers and networks has changed, and it's a bit disturbing. There was a time where there just wasn't anything there. If you had a computer at your house, it was, why? You might have to punch some numbers into a spreadsheet, use it for printing at work, yada, yada, yada. But nowadays, absolutely everything we do is through the World Wide Web, or the intercontinental networks. A lot of people here don't understand that when they go onto a Microsoft web page that has to do with customer relation management, that server is probably not in the US. They don't understand that everything that they touch online has somebody behind it trying to make money off of them. And it just hasn't been that way forever. When I was a kid, man, if you wanted it to go beep, you had to figure out how to do a Control-G or the right character number to get it. What was it? It was ASCII 4, wasn't it? Wasn't that the bell character? I don't remember. But you had to do it all yourself from the get-go. And we have a generation of people, probably about my age, around my age, who had to go through that to get computers to do anything. And what cracks me up is even when I was going through high school, I noticed that the other people who were coming up behind us didn't have that. They didn't have that built-in desire to make the computer do anything, because even then, this is in the late 80s, early 90s, even then computers were getting to the point where most of the hard tasks were already done for you, and all you had to do was plug a few things into each other, either figuratively or literally, to make the computer do whatever you needed it to do. And nowadays, people deliberately seek out computers and mechanisms that already have everything done for them, and they're willing to pay for it. I'm not, because I know how these things work, and I know how easy some of this stuff is to make happen. And I'm having a hard time getting computers back to the point where I can make them do things, because I have to wade through all of the work that's been done to get between me and my money, to get there, to get the computer to do what I want it to do. Wow, looks like the end of the frickin' world out here. There you go. That is rain. There's a bunch of bad weather heading this way, and I hear sirens. They're taking off on that little bike. That should be fun. There we go. Wow, they're lit up like a Christmas tree. Oh shit, they're slowing down. These are turning, they're turning right there. I don't see them. That's how most of the garbage ends up in my yard. Oh, they're back. They made it. Alright, few too many raindrops, so I'm heading in before I lose the camera.